Emeka, you are a patient man. For starters, you are a patient man.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, getting back on the field last week, when you're basically out for a month like that, what's the difficulties in trying to work your way back onto the field?
Just playing football at that type of speed and high level. It's a little different than just practicing. Just because you're facing a team that is going to give you their best shot, especially when you're playing Ohio State. So playing at a speed like that, and intensity like that at a away stadium, nonetheless. So. That's probably the biggest thing, getting back into the swing of things.
When we would see you before games, when you would be working out, what are you trying to figure out when you're trying to figure out whether or not you can go in a game and you're going through those warm-ups, what are you kind of checking out to see if you're
It's kind of a joint thing. Ultimately, I'm going to want to play every Saturday. I'm sure you guys saw me out there, Penn State.
Yeah.
I mean, I was giving it my best shot. But, ultimately, Coach Hart felt like, Carnell and Xavier Johnson are, nothing short of amazing, players who are more than capable of stepping in and having a huge impact. And they've done a great job over this last month, and they're going to continue to do a great job. They're a special part of this offense, and we're going to get them involved in any ways that we can.
So, Mick, what do you say when they tell you that it's not happening?
Sometimes I'm just kind of bummed, but I understand where they're coming from, and it's it's deeper than just. Going out there and playing a game, if you feel good enough, you might not, look the part. You don't want to put anything bad on film or anything like that, and you don't want to certainly make any injury worse than it already is.
I know how badly you want to play against Penn State because of how big that game was. Were you able to, I don't know, rationalize it and think, well, there's going to be a bigger game at the end of November or whatever's coming down the pike. Maybe it'd be better for me to sit this one. Did you get to that point?
At that point in time, my only goal was to play for Penn State. So I'm actually, I'm proud of the way I handled this injury, and I'm thankful for the people who were in my corner during it. But you could ask anyone in the facility. I would be here at 7 a.m. and I would leave at 9 p.m. And I wasn't doing anything physical. I was all just doing rehab on my ankle because I was so determined to play for Penn State. I knew I wouldn't make it back for Purdue, but I knew Penn State had a shot, and a shot was really all I could ask for, and I was pretty glad of the way it turned out.
7 to 9 p.m. is a lot of time to be here for rehab. What are the things you're doing?
Icing, range of motion type stuff. We have a red light machine that's supposed to enhance recovery, float tank, watching film just to make sure I'm ready for Penn State, watching film in Penn State. Just spending all my time in here to make sure I can, optimize that.
Do you know so much more about recovering from an injury now than you did 5 weeks ago? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, patience may be the key word, right?
Yeah, there's a couple dudes with ankles on this team as well, so I've been giving them pointers a little bit about how to get it better. But no, it's been great. I've learned a lot. And I'm super grateful for the guys who have helped me come this far, especially our training staff.
Yeah, you may have been asked this before I walked out, but how close were you to 100% last week? Did you feel close to, you know what I mean, how you felt in the opener? I mean, just how close are you?
Yeah, no, I thought I felt good. I was warming up, and it was the best I felt, up to this point. And there's really no doubts in my mind if, something else doesn't happen, that I'm going to feel great this coming Saturday too. So each week has been better than the last. So
how much were you practicing? Leading up to that Penn State game?
I hadn't practiced. I hadn't practiced at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but I knew all the plays.
You finally get back out there, and you have really high expectations for yourself, but you also understand that you have to get back to the speed of the game. How do you kind of compartmentalize that? It's like, okay, I'm back out here, but I might not have the production I want because I'm still getting used to the flow of the game and the speed of the game like we were 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't really think about it that way, to be honest with you. If I'm on the field, I expect to play at a level no matter what my body feels like, because I expect to, if I'm out there, in my mind, I'm 100%. So I'm going as hard as I can every play, and I'm doing what my team needs me to do and expects me to do.
So I guess that's kind of the crux of it, is like you expect that from yourself, but then when you I'm not saying you didn't play well, but when you don't see the production that you had in Notre Dame game and a couple games before that, do you just kind of say, okay, I understand like that I had to ramp back up, now I can kind of go back to the drawing board, go full speed again this week against Michigan State?
Right. I mean, there's a lot of components that go into that. For one, Rutgers was sitting in cover 2 all day.
Yeah.
I was one of the leading receivers with 29 yards. So, there's that component of it. But I felt, even though we may have not, got the production per se, I felt that my routes were there. I felt capable and able to play the game that I know I'm capable of.
This might be the same
conversation.
question, but how do you keep from trying to make up for lost time in a game?
There's no really need for pressing, I would say. I'm not here to get accolades. I'm not here to, make my name highly touted and to, win the Belindakoff and all that type of stuff. I'm here to win championships, glorify the name of Jesus Christ. That's really all my purpose is to do on this team. So whatever my team needs me to do that given week, that's what I'm going to do.
Had you ever missed that much time or that many games?
I've never missed a game, I don't think.
Like even in high school?
No, I've never missed a game before.
So that must have been a new experience.
Yeah, it was. It kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. My birthday was the Purdue game also, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But no, I'm grateful to be where I'm at right now. I've learned a lot through this experience, and I was able to support my team in a way that I hadn't before. Because you have a different role. You have a role in supporting and coaching the younger dudes so that they're ready for when that moment comes. So, like I said, I've learned a lot. I'm super grateful for this moment. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be playing again. Football is one of my passions, probably my biggest passion. So, it really puts a lot of stuff into perspective.
What was harder, all the hours in the rehab, or having to watch from the sideline and not being?
I was doing my best to, be the supportive teammate that my teammates needed. So, I was trying to produce a ton of energy on the sideline and just be engaged in that way. So I was actually having a good time at the games, seeing my guys, do their thing and produce like I know they're capable of. So, that part of it for me was great. Obviously, I want to be out there playing. But, the rehab did, it took a toll, on my mind and on my body, obviously. But, in those moments, I was just leaning on the Lord, and He was really bringing me through all that.
When you go down against Maryland, when you first go down against Maryland, first of all, were you trying to fight to get back on the field?
Yeah, I was trying to like hop off the field.
Yeah.
And all my coaches were like, because I'm sure you guys saw I got hurt, and I was like limping over to the sideline, and I realized I couldn't run, and I didn't know why. And my coach was just like, go down. So I laid down for a second. I went in the tent, trying to warm it back up. And I was trying to get back out there. I wasn't able to at the time.
So when they're having you go through stuff, whether you're getting on the bike or anything, or just running up and down the sideline, are they telling you what they're looking to see to let you know that you can or can't go back into the game?
Yeah, pretty much. There was not really for the Maryland game, but for the leading up to the Penn State game, I needed to run full speed and I needed to be able to stop full speed. So that was really my test. I had to do that in front of Coach Day and Coach Hart to show them I was able to play at the level that I'm expected to play at. So those were really my tests for getting back on the field.
When did you get back to practicing fully, like practicing normally?
Sorry?
When did you get back to practicing, like in a pretty normal way?
I believe maybe last week when preparing for Rutgers, yeah. Okay. Wisconsin, I was practicing a little bit, but not full reps.
You talked about the people in your corner throughout this whole process. Obviously, Coach Hart is a huge part of that. I saw that you guys talked after you tried to warm up before the Penn State game, and he kind of talked to you for a long while out there on the field. In that kind of moment, I'm not asking you to share what he said, but like, what do you take from that conversation, like moving forward about the game and your recovery and what Coach Hart had to say to you?
I want to put on record that I was technically available for Penn State. So if I needed to play, I definitely would have. I felt probably about 80-85% at the time. But we felt as if, the dudes who were, behind me had more than enough ability to be able to execute the job. So if one of them were to go down or if something we were in need of any type of thing, I was there. I was ready. So my hair was on fire. It was the biggest game of the year at the time. I was ready. I was excited.
What does it say about your team that they beat a defense like that?
It says a lot, honestly. I feel like there's been a little bit of question about our offense this year, but we're undefeated. So if we continue to go on this roll, it doesn't really matter what our offensive production is because we'll be looking at something special come the end of the year.
All right, you are available